Preparation through education is less costly than learning through tragedy. Max Mayfield. Madam Chair, my fellow Toastmasters and guests, good evening.
Good evening.
September 1st, 2019, our country, the Bahamas, experienced one of the worst natural disasters in our history. Hurricane Dorian. Hurricane Dorian made landfall as a Category 5 storm on the island of Abaco. For 24 long hours, Abaconians were faced with pure destruction from the monstrous storm. With winds reaching a maximum speed of 185 miles per hour and storm surges of 18 feet. Winds at that speed can be compared to falling out of a moving airplane. The death toll following Hurricane Dorian stands at 74 people, with 63 deaths reported in Abaco and 22 deaths in Grand Bahama. The final census report reveals that 245 people are still missing. We can only hope that our nation and our people never be faced with a storm of this magnitude ever again. May the souls of the departed rest in peace. Our islands in the sun makes us prone to natural disasters such as hurricanes because of our geographical location. The Bahamas sits in the Atlantic hurricane belt and is extremely vulnerable to the effects of disasters and climate change. The government of the Bahamas asked the IDB, the Inter-American Development Bank, to assess the effects of the Hurricane Dorian, and based on its findings, 80% of our landmass is within 5 feet of mean sea level, making the threat of storm surge a reality. Based on the Hurricane Risk Index in Latin America and the Caribbean, the Bahamas, along with Antigua and Barbuda, are the 2 countries in this region to be faced with the highest hazard threat of hurricanes. As we may know, or can still see evidence in Abaco and Grand Bahama, the effects of a hurricane can last a lifetime, well after the storm has passed. The destructive nature of a storm can result in loss of life, mental fatigue, property damage, beach erosion, and it can also jeopardize the safety of public health in the environment. Displacement and homelessness is also a real threat. Hurricanes can force people to evacuate their homes, leading to temporary or even long-term displacement and oftentimes homelessness. The extent of the impact depends on various factors, but the most, and I repeat, the most important factor is preparedness. Prior preparation is vital. Due to disaster fatigue, many of us wait until a storm is approaching to prepare, thus causing chaos, headache, and unnecessary stress. Based on our location, hurricane preparedness should not, and I repeat, should not take place hours before a storm. But in fact, it should be a continuous and ongoing practice throughout the year. Some essential preparedness steps can be, and I list. 1, staying informed. Staying informed can simply mean knowing exactly when the Atlantic hurricane season begins and when it ends. Also, by familiarizing yourself with the various categories and knowing the difference between a watch and a warning. 2, create a hurricane emergency plan. Developing a family plan can include, but not limited to, learning evacuation routes in the event of your home being compromised. Meeting points for you and your family. If one is displaced, and proper communication methods in the event of a misplaced phone or forgotten number. 3, build an emergency kit. This may include having a life jacket, in the event of a storm surge. Securing important documents from water damage is also quite vital. In addition, you want to have at least a week's supply of prescription medications, as well as the other essentials such as flashlights, batteries, and non-perishable food and water. 4, review insurance coverage. Ensure that your home and property are adequately insured. My question to you, 7178, why not protect your biggest asset? 3 years after Hurricane Dorian, many cannot, and I repeat, cannot return to a sense of normalcy because there was no plan in place for their home and it was destroyed. 5, prepare for power outages. We know that they're coming. So ensure that you have a backup power source, such as a generator, a portable phone charger, and other external battery packs. 7178, these are just a few tips that you can use to help you prepare throughout the year. But my fellow Toastmasters and guests, I implore each and every one of you to be prepared, because preparation empowers us to face uncertainties with confidence. It helps us to navigate complex situations with ease and to capitalize on the possibilities that may come our way. So finally, as said by Confucius, a man who does not plan long ahead will find trouble at his door.